Hey, everybody. Great Monday leading into January to you. As I originally reported and take my post down, Barbara Lee, her Mayor of Oakland. I said it's just a matter of time before she announced territory. It's like, hey, to do, but it's still something that may not work out. Well, look, there are a lot of reasons for elected office don't pan out. But the bottom line is not pan out because you started to do them. And she's taken necessary steps to start to question. The question too, but happened NBA Finals Game 4 at Oakland County Coliseum Arena, and she and I were sitting next to each other and had a great spirited conversation. I followed up, but I never got referred to. Called again, didn't call back. Then, of course, life took on its course, and I went on to other things. Still didn't get a buzz back. At any rate, the question: how many jobs did Barbara Lee bring to Oakland as Congresswoman? Let me give you an example. In the classic case of the elected official, that official normally industry in the past and said, hey, I've got business people to help you build, say, solenoid switches for your explosive device or for your airplane, some type of vehicle, a tank, and we can build them better. And then you get those businesses in line to get contracts to do that business. That's classic economic development. That's what elected officials have been known for. So the congressperson can say, generated 20,000 jobs for my town. And the people who work those jobs will be right behind that congressperson saying, yes, they did. Along with the business owners writing checks, donations, along with donations to that congressperson. That is the classic way it's done. It's about the economy. How much money, in terms of jobs, there are a number of examples of that today, like Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia talking about the project from his district's perspective. Barbara Lee has done an outstanding job of paving the way for the LGBTQ community. But where is it that the great Congresswoman has had a jobs program locally for Black businesses in Oakland? But not in the Oakland context. Congresswoman would say, I've generated dollars in federal funds, 490 million in transportation funds, and 58 million for community. Drilling down that list, the vast majority of those projects are not concentrated in Oakland. Where's the Oakland example? And then again, and back to the main point, where's the great congresswoman saying, I'm going to get a business the size of, say, like a Rocket Mortgage to Oakland, and I'm going to provide them with necessary funds to do that, so that with its gigantic homeless problem is built up. Barbara Lee is noted for being on cities to fight homelessness and poverty nationwide. But it's always from a grants perspective and not from an economic development perspective. In other words, there's this that has happened between those people who choose to call themselves a certain type of progressive, the standard Democrat. The standard Democrat understands that businesses need money to run, well, their business, pay the rent, working capital, as we call it, okay? And yeah, where's the example of the congresswoman saying, I will find a pandemic recovery program for Oakland. I will help Oakland businesses. And then someone mentioned sports. Well, hey, Congresswoman Lee has never advanced that was pro assisting a team. Advancing anyone actually knows the law is quite aware is not going to work. But what about doing it the classic economic development way, which is you present yourself in athletics and to the city of Oakland, and you get the state of California, and you get the governor involved together in the room, a set of people who can make on top of all that, the recognition that the city of Oakland itself didn't even do the work in the A's case. Increment financing zone that was created by Nancy Skinner and Dave Cobble representing the Oakland Athletics. Do you realize that $2.3 billion of subsidy was calculated for that? Do you realize that the report that was released in April of 2023, long after the A's that same document has never found its way to the Port of Oakland, the same property, and getting new developers to consider and everything else. And yet, guess what? This money is to be done if you implement tax increment financing and unlock that 2.3 million, 500 million, give to erase the deficit like that, okay? And yet that has not been done. Ron Dellums, rest in peace, and now Barbara Lee, or others, or Libby Schaff with Friends of Libby, okay? There was always a cult of personality, and we have been hammered literally to death because Oakland's on the brink of bankruptcy, all right? Some would say, by this idea that one person can get it done, as opposed to what we used to do when we had television, and we had a meeting group of 500 people in one day come together, form a what was the number one linchpin economic development vision advanced? It was the completion of something called the bulk terminal. Yeah. So I came from that. But we haven't had that session that created new friends of people. Like I got a number of new friends from that, and really caught the structure of the city's economy and how they benefited or not in it, and how to direct the city's economy to help people at the lower rungs and businesses too. We have not done that. And in the internet age, we haven't focused on it at all. We have been content to build this cult of personality, to allow now our elected officials to call people names through social media, as our former mayor, who just got recalled, would do, and is the first to use social media to really do that on a regular basis. Awful, awful, awful. All right. But we've gotten nothing out of it. And what has developed over the course, because of the pandemic, is a record number of carjackings. 14. Oakland Airport has lost. That happened officially last week. Direct flights to Europe for the first time in a very long time. And if that doesn't, it's true then that we have a city of people who don't, of which their own city has fallen through all of this. Count on a cult of personality. We have to have a process and a plan, and we have to listen to each other. Little groups of people who want to get behind Barbara Lee and then make snide remarks about other people and keep them. Same kind of political games that they've played before that lead to nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's called crab barrelism. You know, oh, let's pull each other down. No, we have to lift each other up. And that Barbara can change if she wants to really win the city. And what I mean by that is not just win for herself, but for the city's future. Yes, you'll generate votes because, for example, opposing their Iraq war. And the bottom line is that when it comes to being mayor, that kind of see, when he was Berkeley's mayor, when I was at grad school at Cal. But that's, again, when your economy is great and you have people who, hey, are making good money up there. And that was the case in Berkeley. But it's not the case today in Oakland. Band together and form a plan. The simple fact of the matter is that Barbara, show us your receipts if you want to jobs in Oakland, or just be 1,000% honest and say, look, I didn't focus on that to you, Zenny, you're absolutely right, and we will focus on it, and here's how we're going to do it, and we want your input. That's the way it's done. But the current direction has got to stop. I've seen it too much. It hasn't helped anybody. No more cult of personality. It's time to get to work. On YouTube and bookmark oaklandnewsonline.com. Thank you.